Hello and welcome to an extremely exciting episode of the Tim and Jim Show. This marks our 100th episode. Can you believe this, Jim?
I can't believe it. It just seems like yesterday when we met.
Just like yesterday. So thank you to everyone who is tuning in, no matter where you are in the world, no matter what time it is in the world, no matter what you're drinking, cheers, or what you're not drinking. We're so grateful for you, to you, for being here. Yes.
Massive congratulations, guys. Can we give Tim and Jim some love in the comments?
Oh,
because
yes.
that is not many people get to 100 episodes, so well done.
And Jim, why don't you take it away? Introduce our amazing guests for this special episode.
I am so appreciative to have Andrew and Pete join us today. They are world famous marketing consultants out of
someone's phone was going off then.
I know.
I thought
it was a pencil sharpener. But Andrew and Pete are two of the top 100 digital marketers in the world, according to Brand 24. And Brand 24 has got a pretty good reputation. They run Atomic. They've been keynote speakers. In fact, I would say, and we talked about this earlier, that they've had a big impact on me and Tim when they were keynote speakers at Social Media Marketing World. They talked about the 90-10 rule. And part of the 90-10 rule is focus on that 90% of that one thing that really is going to help your business grow. And then that other 10%, right? Maybe you want to go play with TikTok or something like that. But I think that's been very valuable. I think especially even more so in these crazy times that we're in right now to be focused. And these guys are definitely doing that. And so what we wanted to talk about today with Andrew and Pete is how to achieve your goals quicker, because even now you can still do it. So guys, great to have you.
Thank you so much for having us. I feel honored to be here on your 100th episode as well. How awesome is that?
Let us know in the comments who's watching. Let us know if we know you as well. Like, if we know you, give us a shout out. If not,
I spotted Tim Lewis straight away.
Yeah,
Tim, how you doing?
Yes,
Tim Lewis.
And too long, Tim.
Absolutely. And Jeff Ettringer's over there on YouTube. So thank you guys watching on YouTube. And we got Deb Eckerling, Amy from California. We got people like this is a worldwide show today, right? Amy, great to see you. And she's doing some great stuff as well. And Wendy Glavin, she's over there on LinkedIn. Great to see you, Wendy. She was a guest as well recently. So yeah, tell us where you're watching from in the comments, and let us know if you got questions for Andrew and Pete as well while we're doing this show.
We're excited for this one, guys. We don't talk about this as much. So if you've ever watched us doing live shows before, like, this is completely new to what we usually talk about, so I'm excited to share it with you. And it's not just going to be some airy-fairy, get up early in the morning, eat an avocado, like have some bulletproof coffee kind of a thing here, okay? That's not what this show is going to be about. We're going to show you guys and talk to you guys about why some people achieve way more than others, why some people have like this innate motivation that pushes them towards their goals and to overcome any obstacle, and why some of us just sit there all day drinking coffee and not really doing all that much, procrastinating on what they need to be doing, let's say. So and I want to share with you as well, like an experiment that me and Andrew did that's got like 100% results on making people achieve an amazing amount of stuff in just a very short space of time, like 6 to 12 months worth of work in like 3 weeks. So I hope you're all excited for that. Let me know in the comments if this sounds good. And
yes, absolutely. And before we dig in, we want to tell everyone that we have some giveaways going on in celebration of our 100th episode. Jim, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about that?
Yes, Andrew and Pete have given us a book that we're going to send to one of the winners. Agorapulse is giving away a large plan, and make sure you check out in the comments. They're having a free LinkedIn social media summit coming up soon. Metricool has given us a couple of premium plans to give away. quick.
How cool.
Is I think the producer plan. StreamYard, what are they giving us?
StreamYard's giving us a 1-year pro plan membership.
Yes, and
Plus a
Wave
live
Video.
Live
Wave
video.
video as well. So lots of great prizes. So make sure you're liking and commenting during the show, and you will have a chance to be a winner. Winner, chicken dinner.
Awesome.
So let's get back to this though. I'm excited to hear about this great stuff because I want to make my goals quicker. And I know Deb, who is the goal method person, is going to love this as well because she's all about goals.
Well, first of all, for a little bit of a background, when we were preparing for our Atomicon keynote, so Atomicon is our conference for our members, our membership, Atomic, and basically we wanted to know the difference as to why some members achieve way more than others, basically, right? Who doesn't want to know that stuff? And we kept on hearing these stories where, like, somebody would make, let's say, someone's husband had been made redundant, and all of a sudden they had to make twice as much money that month, like, and they did, like, because they had to, right? So, like, right. Why does that happen? And what if we could manufacture that so that we could always double our income in a month if we needed to, right?
I would love that.
Yeah, right? It sounds cool. And it's totally possible, we found. So as we were preparing for this talk, we went and talked to a lot of different people and did a lot of research. And we came up with this idea of what we call confidence plateaus. And so essentially what happens is we're all trundling along in our business, right? We're all on this level. And we want to get to the next level, don't we, guys? Right? We want to double the income. We want to get better guests on our show. We want to, I don't know, like eat more avocados that month. Whatever we want to do. We all have our personal goals, right, in our business.
Right.
And yet, and as you go in business, right, you're gonna take those jumps, right? You're gonna outsource. You're gonna raise your prices occasionally. You're gonna be more proactive with sales. You're gonna, DM that person who you're a little bit nervous to DM. You're going to reach out to that influencer. All these things that are going to help you grow your business. And what happens is you'll go as far as your confidence allows. Okay, so that's all business is, just a series of little leaps of faith, right? But the problem is, what happens when those little leaps of faith get too big, right? So, for example, following someone up on a phone call to get a sale. How many people in the comments like doing sales calls? Nobody likes doing sales calls.
No way.
How many people like doing a ton of sales emails? Nobody likes writing sales emails. How many people like to niche down in the business and potentially cut out all these opportunities of revenue? Nobody likes to do that. Right. So a lot of these things that are actually really, 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 really important in business are just basically too big of a jump. And feel free to cut in at any point here as well, Andrew.
You're doing well, Pete. You're doing well.
Yeah.
Okay. He's on a roll. He's on a roll.
So essentially, I'll let you tell them, everyone, like the 3 things that you can do to overcome this. All right. So basically, we get to these points in our business and we're on this level and we become a little bit frustrated that we're not growing anymore, but yet we can't make it to that next level because there's something we just can't do, right? Like, for example, outsource. What if you really need to outsource? You're at capacity, you need to outsource, but you know what? You're just a little bit too worried because you don't know if they're going to be any good. You don't know how to find anybody. You don't know if you're going to be able to, like, afford it. All this kind of stuff runs through your head. So you just don't do it. You put it off. You procrastinate. And you just keep at that level, okay? You plateau. So the problem is we need to overcome these, like, fears, these worries, these concerns to get to the next level in business constantly. So we need to stretch ourselves. But where are we going to find that motivation? Where are we going to find that motivation to do that? What's going to actually make us go, you know what, I need to do that today, not in 6 months' time?
Is it coffee? Is that the solution?
Not coffee, unfortunately, and it's not avocados either. So Andrew, do you wanna chip in here and talk about some of the things that we can do to overcome these plateaus?
Yeah. So basically, what we started doing is we started talking to members who had seemed to achieve a lot of things like really quickly, and we started to like work out why they had been able to like overcome those confidence plateaus and level up and do things quicker. And like we came up with this concept of, if we really want to achieve our goals, if we really want to push ourselves, then the path of inaction, that plateau, that like I'm going to just do nothing because doing something is scary, like that path needs to be scarier than the path of action, than the path of actually doing the sales calls, or the path of actually dipping your toe into outsourcing, or the path of following up with that person that you've been putting off with following up with. It's like the path of the path of doing nothing needs to be scarier than the path of doing something. And then we started to think, often that comes by accident. Like, for example, if your husband, like one person that we were speaking to, her husband was made redundant, and all of a sudden, like the path of her doing nothing was scarier, because like if she continued doing nothing, if she continued to like put off the sales calls, then she wasn't going to have enough money. Like she literally had to do the sales calls, get the money in. And because she had that fear, she did a lot of things really quickly. And then we started thinking, well, okay, it's okay to, like, it's great, like if something happens to us, or we have one of those like external factors or influences on our life that forces us to act. But like, we don't want to just wait around for like something bad to happen for us to actually achieve our goals. Like that sucks. So then we started thinking, how do we manufacture these like moments where we force ourselves to level up? And we started looking at different ways to actually raise the stakes on ourselves. And that's like the new concept that kind of sums this up. So if we really want to achieve our goal faster, like we need to raise the stakes on ourselves. So the path of not doing all the stuff that we know we need to do is actually scarier than doing all the stuff. Because the thing is, like when we spoke to our members and we had all these conversations, like they all knew what they needed to do. Like I think often we know what our goals are, and like the problem isn't plotting the goals, and the problem isn't like knowing exactly what tasks need to get done in order to achieve those goals. The problem is having that fear to actually go do those tasks. So that's what we want to raise the stakes on. Like, how do we make not doing those tasks actually scarier than doing the tasks? I don't know if this is making sense, guys. Let me know in the comments if this is kind of resonating with you.
So there's like 3 levels that we're going to go through. Andrew, maybe you can take the first one.
Yeah.
And essentially, you need the each going to add to the motivation, okay? So if you've got the first level, you might overcome those tiny fears. If you've got the second level, you're going to overcome some pretty good fears. If you get the third level, though, anything is possible. All right.
Yeah. So basically,
let me know if you're excited.
Right. And Jim, jump in and let us know if you've got any questions.
So let's talk about this first level of overcoming the tiny fears.
Yeah.
Teeny, tiny, potato.
Yeah. Okay. So the first thing that we got some of our members to do is we got them to make a promise. Right? Nobody wants to let someone down, because if you let someone down, then that sucks, right? You don't want to be that person. So we started to talk into people who had maybe made promises to their kids, like, I'm going to make enough money, we're going to go to Disney World, or I think you have to make a promise to someone who you respect and someone who you don't want to let down. I remember this worked with us with our speaking career. So you saw our keynote, the 9-10 rule, didn't you guys? That talk was written over maybe like 5 or 6 weeks, because we bumped into the most amazing speaker that we've ever seen. He's called Drew Davis. I don't know if you follow him or see him speak. We saw him speak one day and he just blew our minds. And we went up to him and we said, Drew, like, how do we get that good? We had like a ton of different gigs coming up, and we were like, how is that not as good as that? Like, we need to get that good. And he offered to help, and he said, I'll help you out, guys, but like, you need to put in the work, and like, you need to promise me that you're like dedicated to actually doing this. And we said, yeah, like we're promised. And he like literally just put us through the motions, didn't he, Pete? Like we were worked so bloody hard on that 90-10 rule talk. And like every single day we just wanted to give up and just do the regular talks that we had been doing. But we had in the back of our minds, oh my God, this guy's like giving us his time. And we made a promise to him and we didn't want to let him down. So that's like the first way that you can level up. You can like make a promise to someone that you don't want to let down. But I don't think that, although that's good, I don't think it's all that strong.
No, and especially what we find is like if you have accountability partners or accountability masterminds, if you don't actually do that task this month, you get to that meeting and they're like, oh, don't worry, I'll add it to your to-do list next month. It's like, that's not accountability. If you don't feel bad, if you don't feel terrible about letting them down, like it's not going to help you raise the stakes at all, right? There's no fear there. It's not going to push you to overcome those things that you're struggling with. So the second level is about making a statement, okay, a public statement. So basically, none of us want to be embarrassed publicly, do we?
No.
So, for example,
I don't know if anyone would answer yes to that question.
So for example, at the end of AtomicCon 19, we said to our audience, about 300, 350 people, we said, hey guys, we're going to do something really scary. And what we're going to do is we're going to hire a venue that holds 1,600 people, so 1,600 people, and we're going to try fill it. And you know what? Like, that was a ridiculous goal for us. There's no way we were going to fill that, right? Like, based on current track records. So this was a huge, huge, ridiculous goal for us. But we told the world, we hired a venue and we told the world, like, we're going to get that many people, right? And we sold the most we've ever sold in our life that year because we knew we wanted to go fill that venue. Now, the whole Corona shizzle kind of ruined our plans a bit towards the end, just as we were about to have that event. But we are. That's what we're going to do next year instead now. But it's all about this adding a public statement. If you say to the world that you're going to do it, and you tell the world constantly that this is what's going to happen, you're going to feel like a right idiot if you don't do it.
Yeah.
All those people looking at you. You don't want that.
Another great example of this is Kelly Noble Mirabella. You guys know Kelly,
yes,
right?
You do.
Has she been on the show yet? You should get Kelly on the show.
Not yet. That's definitely in the next 100. She will be on the show.
Okay, good. Kelly, we were speaking to Kelly quite. I'm trying to think when this was, Pete. It must have been like over a year ago now. It must have been almost 2 years ago when we first met Kelly and we were speaking to her. And she said she wanted to be like one of the world's best chatbot experts. This was before she was even in chatbots. And we said to her, Kelly, like, you need to like do this and you need to niche down. It's like, you know more than chatbots than anyone that we know. Like, you need to go for this. And you've seen it. If you follow Kelly's career over the past few years, she's like absolutely smashed that niche. She's gone all in. She's working with the guys at ManyChat. She's got a really successful YouTube channel on the topic. And we said like how she was one of the people that we had the conversations with when we were researching this talk. And we said like, what like give you the gumption to like do that? Yeah. And like she had made the promise to us, so like she had that first level, but then she said, as well as like telling you guys I'm going to do it, I also went and told everyone else I was going to do this as well. And just that public accountability of telling like your peers or even putting it online somewhere that you are going to achieve that goal.
You know what else she did? You know what else she did? She said she always went to social media marketing world, but her goal was to speak there. Mm-hmm. And so she actually said to us, like, hey guys, I'm not even going to buy a ticket. And I'm going to tell people that I'm not going to buy a ticket because I'm going to be speaking there next year.
Wow.
And she did. Right? She went to herself. She told the organizers, I'm not attending this event. I'm going to speak at this event. And they watched her because she made that public statement. And you know what? They were like, yeah, she's actually doing really, really good. Like, she needs to speak here. So that's pretty awesome.
Well, before we go to the third level,
ooh, exciting!
We're
Teasing us, Jim.
We're going to tease everyone with a word from our sponsor, StreamYard.
Awesome.
Got to do the Tim.
I was
wasn't
he
ready
was
for
just
that,
like
man.
the only one not dancing when we came back.
And
I was like, I don't know how long that's gonna last.
we're back here on the 100th episode of the Tim and Jim Show. We're so grateful to have our guest today. And thank you all for tuning in. It's an honor to have you here as we celebrate and learn. And a reminder to make sure you guys comment, everyone who's watching live during the show, as we're running giveaways with Andrew and Pete and StreamYard, Agorapulse, Wave.video, and Quick. So definitely make sure to stay engaged during the conversation. So this is a really interesting conversation we're having here about making a public statement. Jim, have you ever made a public statement like this before?
You know, I don't know if I'd say it's a public statement, but well, you know what? I did. I started to say, I'm going to do a podcast. I would do it in Twitter chats. And then, you know, I was starting to feel that pressure like, hey, where's your podcast? And the podcast now lives. And I think for us, right, the accountability piece has been, this is our 100th episode because we've held each other accountable to being consistent. And I think that's why I think part of the reasons why we're blessed to have great guests like Andrew and Pete on the show, because if we didn't take it seriously, they'd be like, why do we want to be on that show? But as in the movie Elf would say, as we're going through the candy cane forest, what is the third level?
Can I just backtrack 1 second, guys? You need to make a public statement on what's going to happen on your 200th episode. That's what you guys need to do. We need to get you to that. There we go.
That gives us a couple years, Tim, so we can get really creative with that. So next week on episode 101, we will tell you what our 200th episode
200th episode is going to be. There we go. All right, Pete, should we tell the Laura story? Because I feel like this just perfectly sums up. Go on.
Okay, guys. So the third level, okay? The third level is to make a wager. And so essentially, I was on the phone to one of our members, Laura Robinson. She's a lovely copywriter, okay? She's really, really cool. She's an Atomic member, and she's doing really well, okay? She's been in Atomic a while, and obviously she's doing really great now. So we got hopped on the phone to her, and we got asking her a few questions. By the way, Jim, it's make a wager, not a wave.
Oh, I thought you said a wager.
Oh,
so a wager.
You must have been thinking, what the hell is make a wave?
Well, I could see. I'm thinking like a tidal wave, but wager works too, right? Even though you can't go to Vegas right now, but we'll make a wager.
So,
you're on the phone to Laura.
Yeah, I was on the phone to Laura anyway, right? So I asked her, okay, so Laura, what are your goals for like the next 6 to 12 months? Like, where do you want to be in a year? If you had a perfect year, where would you be? She said, I would build out the funnel for my membership. I would launch my course using ads, and I would outsource more writers, bring them on the team so that I could take on more members into the membership, because her copywriting membership relies on having some actual writers as well to proof some work, which is great. So I said, okay, well, like, why aren't you doing it? And she said, well, you know, I'm going to get there eventually, but I just don't really know where to start. I don't know how to like get on with it. And to be honest, I was just going to chill out this month a little bit. I'm doing okay. And, you know, I'm just kind of procrastinating on it, if I'm a little bit honest, right? So I said, okay, well, what would be the actual tasks? So let's break it down. What would be the actual tasks you needed to do to achieve all that stuff? And she listed it all off, right? So I said, okay, I'll tell you what, Laura, like, if I had like a gun to your head, or if the world was going to end, if you did not complete all of those tasks within the next 3 weeks, could you do it? Could you do all those tasks? And she said, well, maybe, if a gun was to my head, then yeah, I'd work really hard and get that done. And you know what? I said to her, okay, then, well, do you trust me? She said, yeah. So I said, okay, send us £500, right? And if you do not complete all those tasks, we will keep that money. And she agreed. She sent us the £500, right?
Wow.
You want to know what happened?
She got her money back.
She smashed all of those tasks within 2 weeks.
Awesome.
Not even 3, 2 weeks. A whole year's worth of procrastination of tasks. In just 2 weeks, she got it done. She made loads more money.
And not only did Laura do it, so after Laura did that, we thought, oh my God, this is really cool. We need to do this on our membership of all our members, like open it up. So we ran our first Raise the Stakes sprint. We got 60 guys, almost 60, I think it was like 58, 59 people in to do this sprint with us. And they all told us what tasks that they were going to do. And this is really important. It needs to be on the tasks. It's not necessarily a goal. It needs to be on something that you can actually do, right? So it was like they all gave us the task list of what they wanted to achieve and how much they personally wanted to wage. We collected over £20,000 worth of wager money from all of our sprinters. And we said to them, right, guys, you're all going to achieve these tasks. And if you don't achieve these tasks, your money is going in the Atomicon 21 drinks kitty for the after party. And we ran that in June, and 100% of those 60 people completed every single task on their list. And they were all like miles ahead of where they were like 3 weeks ago. And it's all that, oh my God, I think that is the biggest fear. Like, I don't want to lose money. The
fact that like you're going to lose a few £100 or whatever you wage is much scarier than not making that sales call. Mm-hmm. Right.
And would you say too that the wager has to be something that has that pain of if I lose this wager? Because like if I said $1 not going to get me motivated, but I could see where 500.
Some people bet a small amount. Some people bet like £10,000. Wow. Like, so it has to be something that you don't want to lose. Not something that's going to leave you, completely financially screwed, but something that's really going to make you work hard.
That's very different for different people. So we never like told people like you have to bet a certain amount. It's like we said it needs to like fit this criteria. Like it needs to, like some people put like a tenner, and then we went back to them and we were like, "Is that like, are you gonna be like devastated if you lose that tenner?" And they were like, "No." And we were like, right, that's not going to work, right? We need to like up that a little bit to something that gives you that motivation to actually go and achieve those goals.
So like the feedback we got was incredible, and I'll share some learning points as well from that. Like some people said like they've achieved 6 to 12 months worth of work in 3 weeks. People said that this means so much to them. They've got work and business straight away from it. Like we've got no idea how much it means to them. Some people have done things that they would just never ever do. Some people have went out and reached out to ridiculously good guests and got them on their show. Guys, you can do that too. Hey, Stephanie Lou. Good to see you. So if we can do this, if we can raise the stakes on ourselves, then we can achieve so much more, because all of a sudden we have to focus to get those results that we want. Okay, we can't faff on, we can't dilly-dally, you can't procrastinate. If people ask us to do stuff, if there's a shiny object, we're saying no. We are dead set on the goals. We're going to do the goals. Nothing is going to get in our way. And that's the intense focus that I want all of you listening to have. And if you're interested, like that's what we are facilitating in Atomic. Like we're running these sprints, these 3-week sprints. You can all join, get involved, and basically join us for our next sprint and achieve more in the next 3 weeks than you would do in the next 6 months to 12 months.
Wow. That's definitely They're throwing down the gauntlet, Tim. We're have to come up with my
They
task
are.
list. Yes, because there's definitely things there's definitely things that we all say I'll get to it. Right, it's on my list. And no, this is an amazing amazing way to look at things. And I think, love the 3 levels. Right, start small, get bigger. I mean, Tim, what do you think? What are some of those fears that you think you're going to overcome now that Andrew and Pete have us motivated? Because like now, making a public statement by next week, we're going to tell people what we're going to do for episode 200. Because now that means we're going to do 100 more episodes, folks. So
we'll
hang
be
on.
watching. And if you don't tell us, how much are you going to give us?
$50.
Right.
There we go.
Right.
There we go.
Oh, that's
heard it here, guys.
You all saw that in the comments. Let us know in the comments. You all saw that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Does everyone watching get $50, or is it just me and Pete? I think it's everyone, right? Everyone gets $50.
We're treading on dangerous waters here.
Yeah. So for the next 7 days, Tim and I will be coming up with a plan.
Yes. No, it's a really good question though. What fear do I want to overcome?
And you know what as well, like I want people to like elevate their thinking here as well. Like if I was to ask you, how much do you expect to earn this month? Like, how much money do you expect to earn this month? Well, guess what, right? You got that number in your head? Everyone listening got that number in your head?
Mm-hmm.
Like, guess what? You're going to make that amount. You're going to make it, right? You expect to make it. So all of your actions this month are going to be geared towards making that amount of money. But, hey, what if you doubled that? What if you 10 times that? What if you expected, not just as a random pie in the sky, dream, wishful thought, but what if you actually expected to earn twice as much in this next month? Like, what would you actually do differently? You would do something different. You would push yourself and you would think, oh my God, that thing that I should really do, I'm going to do it. I don't know how to do it yet, but I'm going to have to get over that and do it and learn and figure it out and get help. So like, everyone watching, I want you to like raise your expectations right now.
That's so powerful. I mean, Pete, it's like when you think about, I feel like as much as we've been in this crazy time these last few months, it's made me realize, like, look, now that you have this extra time, what are you doing with it? I mean, if you're sitting in your house, don't make excuses, right? Like read 20 minutes a day, listen to a podcast, figure out that new skill that you haven't been doing. I think this is a great way to do this, is to, definitely to check it out. I mean, I'm a member of Atomic, not a shameless plug, but a happy plug, because these guys are great. And they definitely, I see the results in the group. They've definitely helped me going back to thinking about the 90-10 rule and really seeing, like, when you're passionate about something, if that's your 90%, right, you're going to succeed at that, as opposed to doing a bunch of stuff that you don't really care about, but because someone said, oh, you should do that. But it's like, but I don't like it. And I think that, right, you guys talk about, if you don't like doing it, outsource it. What a concept.
I feel like this industry specifically is probably the worst for shiny objects and just getting distracted with lots of different things that lots of different marketers will tell you to do. I think like what me and Pete have realized over the years is that you don't have to do everything that just because someone said it on a podcast or on a YouTube video doesn't mean that you need to go off and do it. Doesn't mean that it's the right thing for you to do. Like normally the right thing for you to do are the things that you're putting off and that you don't want to do. And it's usually not like, I really need to launch a podcast. It's usually like, I really need to raise my prices, or I really need to outsource more, or I really need to niche down more, or I really need to finally redo that awful website because everyone's going to it and no one's actually
I need to do that.
Yeah. It's usually those things. And it's usually like the things that aren't as fun, aren't as sexy. But like if we are serious about like growing our businesses, it's the things that we can't put off forever.
Absolutely. We got a couple comments. Yes. Lost level, lost jobs and their incomes. And that's very true, Wendy. And I think that's part of the challenge, right? What can we do to move ourselves forward? Because you guys have seen it, right? You've had clients that maybe had, like you said, the one family member, like, okay, the husband doesn't have a job. How are we going to get income? You got to figure it out. And it's not always fun. But I think also there's a community that will support you, but you also, and that's, I think, probably where the public statement helps, because it's like, hey, you said you were going to do this. Why haven't you done it yet?
It is really tough. And like, we know how hard it is out there, especially for people that are like trying to run their businesses around homeschooling, and like everyone's schedules are just kind of out of the window. Like, for those people, and if that's you, like, you feel like, oh my God, there's so much I want to do, but like, I just don't have time to do it. Like, it's even more important to raise the stakes, because it's not like saying you have to do a million different things. Like, that's not what we're saying. And like, especially when we do this, like with our membership, it's not about like doing a ton of different stuff. It's about, okay, if you only have 15 minutes a day, like, what you're going to raise the stakes on yourself. So, like, how are you going to raise the stakes on yourself so that 15 minutes a day that's spent marketing or selling your business is actually spent in the most efficient way, and not just thinking, oh my God, what the hell am I going to do?
Well, Tim, I know these guys, we want to value everyone's time. This has been
absolutely
some amazing stuff. Any final thoughts from you guys? I mean, thank you so much for this. And
I think that if anyone's listening to this and they feel like they've kind of plateaued in their business, if they've made the same amount of money month after month or year after year, and you want to like finally do something about it, maybe you've joined courses, accountability groups, bought into memberships before, and it's just not worked, and you need that kick up the bum. You need to raise the stakes on yourself to make sure you actually make an impact right now and make some more money. Then if you want to check out Atomic, we'd love to help you. It's becomeatomic.com. We are currently offering a £1 30-day trial with no auto-renew subscription. So there's no other payment after that unless you want to continue. So you can join, check it out, see what it's like. I would love to have everybody watching and giving it a go and achieving their goals quicker.
We have a sprint starting as well in just over a week's time. So that would fall within your 30 days as well, if you did want to try it. But yeah, if you have any questions about that,
help you find your goal and get there.
Drop us an email or drop us a message somewhere, and we'll love to. But thank you so much, guys, for having us on your 100th show. Are we doing the prize giveaways now? I'm excited for the prize giveaway.
We're gonna do them after this, because we have to like do the like random drawing out of the comments. So we haven't got to that point of technology. That might become our sprint, right? How to use technology to make random drawings.
There you go.
So yeah, guys, thank you so much. Thank you everyone that's watching live or on the replay. If you're on the replay, let us know if you have questions, and I'm sure Andrew and Pete will be happy to give you some answers. Definitely check out Become Atomic. Did I say that right? Because it was funny. They said we've become atomic, and it's like, but it was atomic.com. Now it's Become Atomic.
We couldn't get atomic.com, unfortunately. Right. No.
And I also want to give a shout out to my friend Chris Stone, who is my co-host on Dealcasters Live, the Amazon live show that I now do, who has created these great graphics and videos. So we wanted to freshen up for the 100th episode, and we said, what better than with two amazing guests? Tim, any final thoughts? Do you want to tell people who we have next week?
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much, Andrew and Pete. We so appreciate you being here. And it was great to meet you at Social Media Marketing World in person when that was a thing as well. Next week, we'll have Holly Chessman on the show. Excited to have her on at noon next Wednesday. Same time, same channels. But thank you so much, guys. Thank you, everyone who is watching. Stay tuned for the announcement for the giveaway.
Awesome.
Excited.
All right,
Thanks,
guys.
everyone, for watching.
Thanks so much for watching, guys.
Bye.
Bye.